Have you ever imagined an argument, replayed a conversation 20 times, or created a worst-case scenario in your head that never actually happened? Maybe someone took too long to reply, and suddenly your brain started inventing stories. They're upset with me. I said something wrong. They secretly don't like me. And even when nothing bad happens, your brain keeps imagining problems anyway. Why? Psychology suggests your mind is constantly trying to predict danger before it happens. The problem is, in modern life, that survival system can easily turn into overthinking. Your brain's main job is not to make you happy. It's to keep you safe. And one of the ways it does that is by constantly predicting possible outcomes. Thousands of years ago, this helped humans survive. If your brain could imagine danger before it happened, you had a better chance of avoiding it. So the human mind evolved to constantly ask questions like, what if something goes wrong? What if this becomes dangerous? What if I'm missing something important? That survival mechanism still exists today. The only difference is, modern threats are usually emotional instead of physical. Now your brain worries about rejection, embarrassment, failure, abandonment, awkwardness, uncertainty. So instead of imagining predators, your brain imagines uncomfortable futures. And the more emotionally important something feels, the more scenarios your brain creates around it. Anxiety is deeply connected to uncertainty. Your brain hates not knowing what will happen, because uncertainty means potential danger. Psychologists sometimes describe anxiety as a form of threat anticipation. Your brain tries to prepare you emotionally before something bad happens. That sounds helpful. But there's a problem. Your mind often treats imagined situations as if they're real. That's why fake scenarios can trigger stress, overthinking, rapid heartbeat, emotional exhaustion, even when nothing is actually happening. You can sit alone in your room and still feel anxious from a conversation that never even occurred. Because your nervous system responds to the emotional meaning of the thought, not just reality itself. And once the brain starts searching for possible problems, it rarely stops at one. One thought becomes another, then another, until your brain creates entire fictional situations. Here's something important. Your brain naturally focuses more on negative possibilities than positive ones. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. Negative outcomes feel more important to survival, so your brain gives them more attention. That's why when someone says, "We need to talk later," your mind rarely jumps to, "They probably have good news." Instead, your brain immediately starts imagining problems. Worst-case scenarios feel more urgent, more important, more believable, even if they're unrealistic. Your brain would rather over-prepare for danger than risk being caught off guard emotionally. So overthinking often becomes your brain's attempt to create certainty in uncertain situations, even though it usually creates more anxiety instead. Humans are deeply social creatures. For most of history, social rejection could genuinely threaten survival. So your brain became highly sensitive to social mistakes. That's why people replay conversations in their head. Your brain is analyzing interactions for possible danger.
Did I sound weird?
Did I sound weird? Did I say too much? What if they judged me? Psychologists connect this to something called the spotlight effect, the tendency to overestimate how much other people notice us. Because we experience life from inside our own mind, our mistakes feel much bigger than they actually are. But most people are too busy thinking about themselves to analyze you as deeply as you analyze yourself. Your brain just struggles to remember that. A lot of people believe overthinking helps them stay in control. If they analyze everything deeply enough, maybe they can avoid pain, avoid embarrassment, avoid failure. But overthinking usually creates the illusion of control, not actual control. Because most scenarios your brain creates never happen, and even when they do, you usually handle them better than you expected. The mind keeps searching for certainty. But life can never become completely certain, which means overthinking becomes endless. Your brain keeps trying to solve emotions that don't actually exist yet. One of the most effective ways to stop fake scenarios is recognizing them while they're happening. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" try asking, "Is this thought helping me right now?" That small shift creates awareness. Another helpful technique is separating possibilities from probabilities. Yes, something bad could happen, but how likely is it really? Your brain often confuses possibility with certainty, and those are not the same thing. It also helps to return attention to reality instead of imagined futures, because anxiety lives in prediction. But calm usually exists in the present moment. And sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do is stop trying to mentally control every possible outcome. Your brain creates fake scenarios because it's trying to protect you. It wants certainty, safety, control. But in modern life, that survival system can easily become overthinking. The goal isn't to stop thinking completely, it's to recognize when your mind is creating fear from imagination instead of reality. Because once you notice the pattern, you stop believing every thought your brain creates. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Psychology Explained simply. And comment below, what's the most random fake scenario your brain has ever created?